Do un bacio
Grazie.
e ti ringrazio da parte di tutti che guarda, ci hai fatto un regalo bellissimo. Grazie.
Grazie, prego.
Cosa?
So, for the past few years, I have been engaged in cultural activities and speaking, public speaking, audience engagement for several times here in Italy, where I am living. And every time I participated and made a project, small presentation, or speaking, they gave me every time a small gesture of appreciation, few certificates. Sometimes they also published my name on the local newspaper, local news press. So this was the experience a couple of months ago, that we created an experience and shared the history of Persia, its traditions, its food. So they appreciated, and every time they put our name, our photos in their local press. And one of the most important thing, that after many years working and living in Italy and contributing culturally, so I also saw my name in their local Italian book, in Italian literature book. That for me it was an honor when first time I saw my name written in the book, and describe everything what I have done with my project, and with contribution, with collaboration with cultural ministry, the ministry and heritage cultural of Italy. So here, for example, in the book, and this is for me, it's a legacy. Like, they're written our contribution for me and for other people, those who were integrated and participated couple of years ago. So this will remain in the legacy, in literature, in books, in libraries, for us, for our participants. So like here, they published everything and defined everything about the project. Basically, it was to share the place and cultural identity for Italy, for the northern region, in the region of north of Friuli Venezia Giulia, where I am living. So the basic culture, to describe the story, what every human individual person feel, and what learned from this history, and what history tells us in a modern world. So also, modern people often think, why do we even learn and research about history? So in my opinion, in our opinion, people who like me, who like the history, and who search in their travel places some stories, different aspects of life, that we are also interconnected, of course interconnected with the history, with past traditions. So after all, so many different several presentations, that in my opinion, in few years, this was one of the most significant and important presentation and project I have done last month. So last month, there is one of the prestigious event in Italy, that name Vicino Lontano, and the festival of Premio Terzani. So every year, once in a year, it they organize an event on the name of the great journalist and war reporter Tiziano Terzani. So in this prestigious event, I got an opportunity to describe my experience, to share my story, to share my project. So this time I made a project from the very basic, from the very of the beginning, from the core idea, rough idea, and I wrote a love letter to a city, to a land, to whole region, to a place where I am living for the past 5 years, because I believe that people changes and evolve over the time. There are so many things, so many changes in human being comes after times. Like for me, in myself personally, I am also being changed after living 6 years here in Italy. So my reflections, my observations, these also reflect in my this project. So basically the project was to explain, to show, to describe the beauty and the history of this region, particular Friuli Venezia Giulia region. So I wrote a love letter, like write to a person, to a friend, to a lover. I wrote a letter to a land. So this all idea begins in March 2025, when I am done writing the poetic writing letter and the idea was to write and to also print on a card paper. So first I designed, for example, like this card, how it looks like and how it comes on lines. Basically here was the idea of to make QR code. I write a letter that was approximately 600 words, and everything is written in Italian language, so surely I will translate everything in English to understand more people who understand English language. So this letter written and done by 2 months ago, 2 months complete working and thinking. I write, I delete, remove, edit so many times, and then I think little bit minimal graphic. Then we made a graphic on here, and then I printed a card. Basically the idea was is for place identity. Normally and nowadays in fast moving, fast paced digital media, digital world, the stories are there are very less stories, and I see the modern tourism just the campaign to visit us, to visit, to explore, just to go on a seaside to eat food. But the history, the origins, and the traditions, the nobility, the intellect of the place is far more important for me. So everything, this region lasts 2 or 3 thousand years history, from the Romans to Longobards and then Venetians, Austro-Hungarian Empire. So, and the beauty, the lakes, the mountains, this is a very rich region in northern side, that in 1.5 hours from the top mountain range where snow, where is the snow, and 90 minutes you can travel from top mountains to the bottom high sea level. So this is a very unique and rich in history, rich in beauty, rich in minerals land. So I describe what I felt and what this region spoke to me, what their silence spoke to me. And when I presented this letter, so people appreciated too much. People appreciated, some people cried, some smiled. And one, I remember very well that one woman came to me after my presentation and video presentation, that she came to me and she uh, showed her hand like this, that appreciation, I like it very much. And she's, when we talk a little bit about, so all of these certificates or like book publications in local newspaper, press and media. So that was one moment for me, was very precious. One moment that one woman was cried, I saw, and one woman show hands like me like this. So that was precious moment. But I appreciate that they recognize and they evaluate my work, my small efforts. They, I mean their Ministry of Culture, Ministero della Cultura, Ministero della Cultura of Italy. So it's a very prestigious organization, institution who preserve the real Italian culture, the historical sites, to restore these sites. So every time I participated, they also make a step towards me of appreciation, that they leave me a certificate and show their appreciation for my work. So that was the idea of to present one letter. But when I saw the response of this one letter last year, because everything is written is played as a voiceover in my video, and I created also the place based, identity based, immigration based video that shows real emotions, the local life, and the local essence, touch of the daily life and the historical context. So people appreciate it, and I now believe that this letter should be done more. And so that was all the work done, like as a think, as a raw draft work. So that was the final version of my letter, that was printed and graphic on a beautiful letter. To my idea was to show and to present my project, my letter, as multi-sensor project. That this project, if I hand over someone can feel the card, someone can feel the noise of this card and read. And also, if there is someone scan the QR code, that a video comes over, beautiful video comes over, and someone can feel, listen, hear. So that's why this is I create multi-sensor. Even one of the most important reason of that many of the people, hundreds and thousands of people are invalid, those who cannot see, those who cannot hear. So these kind of project in cultural ministry, in heritage department, restorers and other groups, institutions in Italy, so they design their project, they think before their project that there are so many people who are invalid. So project is designed also for those people, those who cannot see, they cannot listen my voice, who cannot listen, they can see my video. So that was the idea I created. And from their response, from their Ministry of Culture response, I would like to make, and I would like to write other letters to other Italian cities. For example, one of the most beautiful and most connected cities to me that I visited and I liked too much, like Venice, Republic of Venice, Florence, Roma. So I visit again these places and I will write more letters, will present more. And I write in Italian first, then share with you also in English language. So that's the legacy I would like to continue slowly and gradually by the passage of time, and will receive maybe in future these appreciation, certification or press endorsement. But these are secondary things. The primary and the most important thing for me is pure storytelling, the pure public interaction, the public involvement, the emotions of public, that I would like to see again and again. Thank you.